Today on the Mindset School podcast, we talk with Jenn Trinidad of Budget Divas. Jenn's overcoming story includes getting out of $90,000 worth of debt in 4 years. And now she teaches others to take control of their finances without giving up the pleasures of lattes and pedicures. Listen in as Jenn helps us to overcome our wrong thoughts about money that hold us back.
Hey friends, welcome to the Mindset School podcast with Peggy Easterling, where we learn to smile authentically from the inside out. Hello, Jenn Trinidad. How are you?
Hi, Peggy. Thanks for having me today.
I am so excited to get to talk to you today. I've been excited for a while to learn more about you. So real quick, can you introduce yourself to our friends and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Jenn Trinidad. I live in the beautiful area of Honolulu, Hawaii. Married to my husband, Alden, and we are a blended family. So altogether, 4 kids. They're all out of the house. So we're empty nesters. And my company is Budget Divas, where we are a safe community of women and families who are trying to live that debt-free life without sacrificing their social life.
Awesome. That is so cool. That's such a needed space and such a needed environment for people to be a part of. I serve survivors of abuse and trauma. And when people think of abuse and trauma, they might not think about how it really someone could have a background of extreme poverty. And budgeting is important for that person for some changes in their mind surrounding money. Can you speak to that? How that maybe their mindset's ingrained and skewed a certain way, and how money and mindset are correlated?
You know, when you think about it, about 50, 60 years ago, it wasn't uncommon for the woman to stay at home to raise the kids and so forth and rely on the husband to go out and bring home the bacon, to speak, right? But nowadays, when you look at TV shows or movies and you look at people who are facing trauma or maybe abusive relationships, what does it always come down to? They don't leave the person most of the time because they're not financially set to leave. If they were to leave their spouse, their boyfriend, their partner, where would they go? Do they have a house? Do they have money that they can rely on to start new? Right? So when I think about it as if I was in this situation, what would I want to have under me? And I've been in this situation before where I was like, I stayed in a relationship because if I didn't stay in the relationship, where would I go? Would I be able to afford a rent payment on my own? Would I be able to support me and my son? That's a really hard topic to think about. But when you think about it, back to your question, it's like, can you start with a small foundation? It always starts with the budget. Money mindset is important, but when it comes down to the budget, that's really the landscape of where everything starts. So if you just take out a sheet of paper and a pen and you put down, what is my income? What are my expenses? Can I really live off of this? And where do I want to go from here? That's your money map of where your mindset is going to change. So even if at the end of the month, you're like, I'm $400, $500 negative in my budget, but now that I have this money map, I know where to make the changes in my budget. That's really a mindset shift.
Yeah, that's really good. Budgets are so important. They're empowering. So I personally believe they can provide so much freedom. I've been in a poverty mindset where I didn't think I could find freedom from things in life. And I'm not in that space anymore. I'm in a different stage. But so many people think if I create a budget, it's going to limit me and put me on a box, and I'll never get to have anything nice in my entire life again. Can you speak to that? And can you tell us how we can look at that concept in a different way?
Oh my goodness, Peggy, I love this question so much because I get this question all the time. And if somebody was to Google, how do I make a budget or how do I get out of debt? These financial gurus out there will say, stop going out to eat, stop spending $7 on that latte at Starbucks, stop doing this, stop doing that. It's like, well, what can I do then if that thing brings me happiness and it brings me joy? And I like to say it this way, if that $7 latte or that pedicure that you get every single month or getting your hair done makes you happy, keep it in your budget because that's what's going to motivate you to keep moving forward. It's kind of like if you have a child or a pet, right, and you take away their favorite toy, are they going to be happy with you? No, right? They're going to be like, I can't stand this. All I can think about is that toy that you took away from me, and now my day is horrible, and my days moving forward is horrible. So when you look at the budget and you actually sit down, put your income and your expenses and everything else that goes into your budget, there are always things in there that we could cut. And it's not to say that you're cutting it because it brings joy, but in this time and age, are we really wanting to spend $200 on cable every month when we have other cheaper options like Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus, right? Which is only about $10 to $20 a month. So say, for example, you're not even spending time watching TV. Can you cut out that $200 from your budget and put it elsewhere? Put it towards debt or put some of it towards that pedicure, that $7 latte that's bringing you joy. So that's the freedom in looking at a budget. It's first of all, put down your expenses and your income, see what that bottom number is, and then evaluate your budget and see where you can make changes. It's not only going to change your money mindset, but it's going to give the power back to you because we always say, right? Like money is not good or bad, it just is. So if you treat money with respect, it'll treat you with respect. If you give power to money, at the end of the month, your bank account is not going to look as healthy as you want it to be.
That's really good. I've been so much on both sides. I can relate to so much that you're saying and know it's true personally. There's another side to all of this too. There's women out there that they don't have to limit and think about, I've got to cut out my latte. I've got to cut out this and I've got to cut out there. They're really not in a space of lacking, but they really at the end of the month, they're like, where on earth did my money go? And because I have no idea where my money goes, I am having issues. It's bothering me personally that I'm just spending money without direction. I want to have some goals, but I don't really have direction with my finances. And it could be for these women that it's causing problems. You spoke to problems in marriages, but maybe money is a specific problem in a marriage, and budgeting could help a family indirectly because it can cut out some of those insecurities surrounding money and some of the issues that people are having. Can you speak to that and how you can help that particular woman?
Yeah. So even if you are bringing a great income or your family is bringing a great income per month, most people will say, I don't want to create a budget. And if you go onto social media, some of these social media people will say, don't create a budget. And here's why: create a money map instead or create a money plan. It's the same thing as saying it's a budget. The only difference is you're not using the word budget, but you're saying money plan or spending plan. So There's a thing that we say in the financial community. It's that when people say budgeting is hard, budgeting is a pain, well, so is being broke, right? And
Um,
what would you rather be broke, or would you rather spend 1 to 2 hours every single week just looking at your bank accounts, making sure that everything is legit? There's nothing crazy going on with identity theft or crazy purchases. That I like to say that my zip code is 968 Target, but because I could spend easily $100 at Target every time I go there. But if I'm looking at my budget, right, and like, okay, I've allotted this much money to Target money every single month, I'm not going to go spending over that, because I know that those dollars, I've allocated it to something else, to maybe a trip that I want to take next year, or something fun that I want to do with my friends down the line. So it all comes down to, how do you want to allocate the money that's coming in per month? So, for example, let's take $5,000. Let's say you and your family bring in $5,000 every single month. Well, maybe your mortgage is $1,500, $2,000, and then you have everything else that you put towards your tithing, your giving, your other expenses and extra expenses. When you get to that bottom number per month, where is that money going? And that's the beauty of budgeting. So even if you make a really good income per month and you think, I don't really need to have a budget because I make enough money per month, I can just outdo myself and next month make even more money to cover my credit cards and everything else that I'm spending on. But it doesn't really help you because you haven't established that money habit. And it's always good to establish great money habits. Even if you bring home a good amount per month, it's always a good idea just to see what's going on in the landscape of your finances so that you can plan accordingly for the next month and moving forward.
that's good advice. I know so many people, they don't have that intentionality surrounding their money, and that intentionality is what gets you that vacation. So, what other advice do you have for people who maybe they just don't have the tools or resources or knowledge to bring in extra income? Do you offer that kind of service in your community?
Sure. So our motto at Budget Divas is to live on a sustainable budget without sacrificing your family or your social life. So kind of think about it this way. If you're already working a 9 to 5 job and your spouse already works a 9 to 5 job as well, and you want to pay off debt faster and by making extra income, you probably have to either get another brick and mortar job or become a delivery person, a Uber person, which also involves getting a babysitter to watch your kids, which the kids are not going to be happy because why is mom and dad coming home from work and then leaving me again? And then when you come home, then kids are sleeping already and you do the same cycle all over again the next day and moving forward. That's not really a happy life, right? Because you know that you want to spend this precious time with your family. You're never going to see them again when they're 2 years old, when they're 3 years old, while you're getting out of debt. So in our community, we find ways to make extra money with your family. Mm-hmm. And in our community, we have a program about being a secret shopper, being a mystery shopper, which most of the time you can involve your family with it. So if you're going to the grocery store, we all need to get groceries. We all go out to eat. We go to the post office. We run errands to sustain our family. Why not get paid for it since you're already doing those things anyway? So if you go to the grocery store, most of the time, these companies will allow you to take your kids with you as long as they're not being distracting. So basically, to sum up how secret shopping works is it's like when you go to the store and you get that receipt, and the bottom of the receipt it says, tell Subway how we did today, or tell Kroger how we did today. And you fill out that survey online with customer service questions, the store cleanliness, the products. How was your experience today? It's the same thing with secret shopping. The only difference is the companies are specifically telling you, we want you to go in the store, ask these questions, evaluate this area, and then write a report on your experience.
I wish I'd known this so many years ago whenever I was a single mom. And man, to be able to take my kids with me and to earn money while I went shopping, it would have been amazing. So I know this listening to this is going to be such a resource to people who've been through abuse and trauma. They're alone. They're not able to provide and feel like they can get ahead, and to have resources and tools in a community, to just the community itself, to talk about money in a positive way, to be part of that. Man, you offer so much to the world, Jenn. So tell my listeners, tell them where they can find more information and resources to resolve money challenges for once and for all in their lives.
Yeah, Peggy, I love what you said about not feeling like you're stuck. Like, I never want people to feel like they're stuck in this corner where they're never going to get out of debt. They'll never be able to afford the things that they want to. And all they can do is just huddle in a corner, eating Cheetos and watching Netflix, right? There's always a way at the end of the tunnel. There's always a way to get through it. So if you need free resources, you can go to budgetdivas.com. I do have a free training on how you can be a secret shopper, as well as free resources on how you can start today getting the foundations for your money ready for 2023.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenn. It has been such a pleasure. I so much appreciate you taking the time to share with our listeners. Your wisdom in the financial world is priceless. And thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you enjoyed this amazing overcoming story and you want to hear more overcoming stories from the Mindset School podcast, comment, like, subscribe, and most importantly, share with someone else that could use an overcoming story of encouragement.
Hey, friends. Thank you for listening. You're now done with step 1 of growing together at the Mindset School. Head over to themindsetschool.net and grab my free download where I share 5 tips when you can't hold it together anymore, and continue your journey to smiling authentically from the inside out.